I'm going to show you how you can turn this ugly webcam looking video into something that looks a lot more professional with a combination of professional lights for low cost and your own home lights and highlighting what you have instead of trying to hide it. I'm Daniel J. Lewis, host of the Audacity podcast, the award-winning how-to podcast about podcasting over at theaudacitytopodcast.com. This is the kind of video that you might typically see from a webcam. And here's the thing, it is from a webcam. I have my regular DSLR video camera set up in the back, and that's going to record some other stuff so you can see this overall room setup that I'm working with here, including my lighting and just some of the other stuff. But this is what you might typically see. It looks really bad. This is the Logitech C920 webcam, which is a really good webcam, has high definition. It works on Windows and OS X, and I'm using the webcam settings program on my Mac computer running OS X in order to tweak the settings of the camera. So right now I have it on the auto setting, and as you can see, it looks ugly. Just look at the dark places, like over here in the fireplace or around the fireplace. That static look that you're seeing, that's because the webcam is on auto exposure settings right now. And it's having to account for the fact that there's very little light in this room. I have a standard CFL soft white light bulb over there in a corner and another one back here almost directly to my left, just a couple feet back from that. And that's lighting my room. That's the only light here. And yes, you can see me, but I don't look very good in this video. So here's the way that we can touch this up. And I'll show you how this changes when I turn on my professional lights and turn off the other lights. So follow with me as I do this. I'm turning off my room lights. I'll start turning on my professional lights too. I just turned on 3 out of 5 bulbs and almost tripped on a cable. I'll turn on another light, give me some fill in. Now, I'm way too bright. Webcam settings is starting to adjust the exposure for me, but I've already played with the exposure settings, so I'm going to switch this over to the exposure that I've already set up here for me, and that is, in general, a very low exposure time because I've got a lot of light coming at me now, but that's just with 2 lights, and this is the lighting kit that I used that was only under $180. It's the Fancier Studio 3-light kit with an overhead hair light that right now I'm kind of using as an additional softbox. But I'm using just 2 of the lights. And in fact, I'm not even using all of the bulbs from those 2 lights. I have 2 lights, 2 light bulbs turned on of the hair light over there, giving me some fill-in right here. And I have the softbox over here, about a 45-degree angle, giving me the majority of this highlight here that spills over a little bit, but if I turned off the light that is back there, this would be a very dark shadow on this side of my face. So it's giving some fill in here while still letting a shadow show. But even this light that's very bright and it's giving most of the light is only using 3 of the bulbs. There are 2 more bulbs that I could use to give me a lot of light from that light. It's a great lighting kit. Go to theaudacitytopodcast.com/lighting in order to learn more about that lighting kit and purchase it as well. So this is now using webcam settings. I've adjusted the exposure, and look at the detail now in my face and how things don't look as bad. It's not as cheap. It looks a lot more professional. Here's the thing though. Many of us podcasters and home video makers might be recording inside our own houses. I am right now. I'm in the lower level of my house. This is a large room, a 10 by 20 room. I've got a window in front there, but the window is currently covered, no sunlight coming in. I am only working with my lighting kit here. And the room extends back about 15 more feet from where I am, back behind me. And it's dark right now, and this could be an interesting effect for you to get this style where primarily I'm sticking out. If I'm wearing dark clothing like I am now, I kind of disappear into the background. You can't even see the back of my chair, which is black. So here's what I would suggest you consider doing. Instead of trying to hide your background, how about you light your background and see what you can do? Here's something I'll do is I'll go back and turn on a couple house lights. These are just regular lights with either a regular incandescent light bulb or a soft white light bulb. Now I have a little bit of a glow in the background. That's not quite enough. It doesn't quite look right because now you see just these couple points of light here behind me. No, that's not good enough. So that third lighting kit that I mentioned, I have set up right here that you can see just a little bit of it. This is the lighting kit, the third softbox right here. And this is pointed back at the room. And I'll turn on all 5 of these bulbs. And now it's lighting that room behind me. So I could come back here and you can see I'm being lit now with this softbox. Yeah, this isn't great lighting for back here for me, but I'm going to be sitting up here. Now that I'm up here, the light looks a lot better, not on me, but on my background. My background looks really interesting now because I have these lights going on in the background, highlighting some of the interesting stuff that's back there. Let me show you what it would look like if I only had the softbox lighting the background but didn't use the house lamps. Try to work with what you can in your setup, because you'd be surprised how sometimes just regular house lighting can make a background look so much better. Notice now, again, I still look okay here in the lighting. I'm well lit, the background is well lit, but it's lacking flavor, kind of. It needs a little bit of salt and pepper. So that's where the regular room lights really come into play. As I turn these on, and I'd love it if I had some more room lights in here, maybe some track lighting or something. Not only are they providing additional lighting in certain areas like the shadows, where, for example, back here in the corner of the fireplace, that would be otherwise a shadow, dark area, you couldn't tell what was there. Now it's a little bit more interesting. But these also are different temperature lights than what I'm using here with my lighting kit. My lighting kit is a daylight calibrated lighting kit, so it's about the sunlight temperature color-wise. Those lights are incandescents or soft white, so they tend to put off a more yellow lighting tone. Thus, I'm getting a neat coloring effect going on in the background. I could come into webcam settings and tweak my color balance a little to look a little bit more yellow, like this, and start looking a bit more warm color. Or I can go the other way and look cooler, color-wise anyway, overly so with the dark. But I like to be at a general balance where my skin tones aren't looking overly yellow like this, and it's still looking kind of generally warm. So I might be, for these lights, I might be about in this area here. I'm not going for perfect, I'm going for good looking. So consider trying this in your own videos. I've got a light here at 45 degrees, a light back there to give me some fill in, the background lights. Now let me show you what you can do to get some more dramatic effect. Same lights, same positions. I'll just turn off a couple more things. So I'm going to leave every light on that I already have on, but this time I'll turn off my fill-in light so you can see what it's actually doing when I say it's filling in the light. So now I have a much more dramatic effect. My light is still primarily over here, and that's where I calibrated my lighting settings so that it's primarily based on how much light I'm getting here. I'm not bleached out on this side, but now there's this much more dramatic shadow on this side. I do have a small reflector over here, but I don't think it's actually doing much. I could bring this closer like this, and you see what it's starting to do. It's bouncing off the light, making it look good, but it's now in the picture. So if I just remove that completely, so there's no chance of that affecting anything, I have this dark shadow over here. That's what the fill light is for. If I switch these things around, I'll turn off my fill light Actually, I'm turning off what they call the key light and turning on just my fill light. Now we've got a different effect. Now it's the opposite way. The shadow is on this side of my face, and this side is lit up, but it's not lit very well. I look underexposed while the background looks pretty bright. Here's the thing, if you want your background to look brighter and you to look also as bright, you'll have to adjust your lighting, rebalance it, and I'm turning up my exposure inside of webcam settings. So now I'm brighter, I still have this shadow over here, and my background is brighter too, so you can see that better. But it's not really a nice effect here. I look kind of flat because of the direction of the light is almost parallel with the webcam. It's not the ideal look here. I'll turn on one bulb of my light, and already you can see how much light is coming in over there, but I like a stronger contrast. So I'll turn on 2 more bulbs out of the 5. And now I need to adjust my exposure again, so I'll switch that back in webcam settings and dial that down a bit until it looks like I'm not bleached out in the shiny spots. And here we go. This is lighting with the simple $180 or so lighting kit. You can get it from Amazon. I'm using 3 separate lights, and you can get the information about that over at theaudacitypodcast.com/lighting, and using house lights to make my background look really interesting. There could be a lot of other things I could do with putting lamps back there to make it look a lot nicer. And then the contrast of that orange color to the more bluish or white look up here would look, I think, really dynamic. Play around with these things to come up with your own ways of looking great in video without spending lots and lots of money on your lighting. And now, as you can see, the video looks a lot nicer than when it first did. And that's because I'm telling the webcam to not do as much automatic processing, enhancing the darkness, but to instead tone it down a little bit so you don't see that static look on the colors as much anymore, and it looks a lot better. This will work great for YouTube live events, Google Hangout events, any kind of recording that you're doing, or like I'm doing right now, recording this video with my webcam instead of my professional DSLR, which records much better video. This shows you that your video quality totally depends, really, first, on your lighting. Your audio is most important when you do videos. Second is your lighting. Third is your actual video camera quality. I'm Daniel J. Lewis from theaudacitypodcast.com. You can get more information about the tools I mentioned below this video, and also check out the lighting kit that I recommend that's very inexpensive too. That's at theaudacitypodcast.com or below this video. Thank you for watching.